What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Unveil by Hometown Foreigners Podcast. I'm your host, JT, and my co-host is my dad.
Happy New Year's, JT.
Happy New Year's, my dad. Or dad.
All right. Happy New Year's, everybody. This is a new year, but I think things are going to be about the same. Niners going to be winning.
But this time they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yes, I agree.
Well, if we like,
And subscribe. Don't forget, we're shooting for our 50th.
yeah, try and get our 50th subscriber.
So please subscribe if you haven't already.
And when we hit 50 subscribers, we'll do a special video.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, surprise. Okay.
And then, and there's the Super Bowl. And then we'll do a face reveal.
All right.
Even though most subscribers are people that we know, but anyways.
Yeah. We will do it. Yeah, like you said, face reveal when the Niners win the Super Bowl.
Anyways, cue the intro music. So yesterday, the 49ers beat the Commanders 27-10. But that's not the most important thing from yesterday. The Niners clinched the first round bye.
Oh man. Yeah, everything had to fall into place perfectly, right?
Yep.
Like the Cowboys had to lose. Well, basically,
No, the Lions had to lose.
well, first, but I'm going back a few weeks. The Cowboys, Lions, and the Eagles, the top teams in NFC, all had to lose by this week. The Cowboys lost last week, and then this week, the Lions lost to the Cowboys.
Yes, in a very controversial call, with apparently 68 reporting to the referee that he can line up and catch a pass.
I guess he didn't report.
Yeah, but there's like a picture of number 68 talking to the referee. Maybe he reported it. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. That is so tricky. That was a great play. It worked out perfectly. Unfortunately, it didn't work out perfectly. It was kind of weird that they went for it for 2 points, even though they got pushed back like to the 7-yard line.
Yeah, and then Michael Parsons got a penalty. And then
the 4-yard line, and then it was for it again 3 times, right?
Yeah. Very crazy.
Crazy. Anyways, but it worked out for the Niners. And then, of course, the last piece of the puzzle that had to happen happened yesterday after right after our game, the Niner game.
Yeah, it was a crazy close game between the Cardinals and Eagles. The Cardinals are the 49ers division rivals, so we never root for the Cardinals, but this time we had to because the Eagles lost. And then we would clinch a first round bye.
Yeah, and it was a last-minute touchdown run by James Conner for the Cardinals to take the lead. I think the Eagles ended up having maybe 35 seconds left on the clock to go down the field with no timeouts. It was almost as perfect as possible situation. So.
And then Jalen Hurts chucked the football into the end zone, but it was caught by an Arizona Cardinals defender and was intercepted.
Yep. Game over. Eagles lose. Niners clinch. We got, like you said, the first round bye. So important. And, of course, home field advantage throughout the whole playoffs.
Besides the Super Bowl.
And we also get, of course, the first round bye gives us the rest, which our players need so badly. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, health is probably the most important thing coming down to the wire here at the end of the season. So if we can get healthy and rested, that is, I think, the most important part.
Okay, and let's talk about the PFF grades.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so Trevor Williams with the highest PFF grade. Maybe because you're kind of dominant running the ball. You know, McCaffrey, he got injured in like the third quarter, and then Elijah Mitchell had to step in, and he played really well.
So the injury, right? What's the injury?
It was a calf strain, and he's going to miss next week against the Rams. And the Niners, like we said last podcast, are going to rest their stars since we got the first round bye.
Did they? Is it? I mean, I don't know exactly who's going to be. It's too early, I think.
I mean, Kyle Hansen, not as many as you would think on resting versus the Rams.
Well, he's stated on his post game that there's just not enough backup players to fill a whole roster to start a game. So we're gonna have to have starters playing in that Rams game, which will be on Sunday. It was to be decided, and then they just decided, I think, yesterday when the Niners game was going to be played. So that game, which we should rest as many people as possible, but we do have to put a full team out there to play. So it will be a little tricky, I think. But we'll talk about that later. So you said Trent Williams was the highest graded. That's
Yes.
great. I mean, he's going back to Washington. You know,
Yeah.
revenge game for Trent Williams. He hates Washington.
He does.
Oh yeah, it was the whole reason. One of the reasons why people believe he didn't want to play for them is because he had that cancer in his head, in his brain, and the medical staff for Washington said, "Ah, don't worry about it. It's nothing." It ended up being, I think, cancerous, and they had to get it removed. And after that, Trent Williams, I think, sat out 2019. I think it was recovering and probably not even wanting to play. And at his age, I guess Washington wasn't too sure if he was going to be as good as he used to be.
He got better with age.
He missed, yeah, but he didn't. They thought maybe he wasn't going to be that good, coming back from the sickness and his age. So they traded to the Niners. So win for the Niners for sure. We have like maybe the best offensive tackle, and we traded for him and traded a little.
Did we trade a second round pick?
Second? I don't know. I know it's mid round, third, fourth, maybe a third and a fourth. I think. Yeah. On the other side, you brought up some PFFs. On the defensive side, the number one top defensive guy graded was Ward, Charvarius Ward.
Yeah, Charvarius Ward got an interception, almost pick six, kinda.
Good. He had a long return, but it didn't count towards anything because they blew the whistle. We actually heard it on the replay when we watched it again. So,
and yeah, that brings him to 5 interceptions for the year, which is like 4 more than the previous year. He only had 1 interception. He went from like a lockdown cornerback like from last year, and this year he's still lockdown cornerback, and he's also a ball hawk.
Oh yeah, he's doing so good this year. So yeah, back in April 25th, 2020, Trent Williams was traded to the Niners for a 5th round pick and next year's 3rd round pick. So 3rd and 5th basically for an offensive tackle. The best.
Yeah, what years were those?
2020, a 5th round, and a 2021 3rd round.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. So we paid up already. Yeah, it's great. Anybody else in the PFFs that you thought did well? I know you.
Well, you said Greenlaw was gonna have a good game, and he did have a good game. His PFF grade was like, it was 88 exactly.
And he was like second best.
Yeah, second highest.
Defensive play. And yeah, I mean, when we watched it, I wasn't seeing him making the big play Dre kind of stuff, but stat wise, I think he had 10 tackles, so he was solid, very solid. The PFF grades show. That's cool. Anybody else on PFFs that were interesting that came up?
Isaiah Oliver.
Oh, that's interesting.
Even though he played 4 snaps.
Okay.
80.4.
I don't count those too much.
I guess Lenore, our other cornerback.
Oh, he had the interception, right?
Yeah, 81.9.
Yeah.
And then Bosa, the 5th highest on defense, 74.5.
He's consistently in the top 5, I believe, every game. So
yeah.
Even though he's not getting the sacks, he's not making those big plays, he's making a difference. And the grades show it, that makes the tackles, makes the pressures and stuff like that. So it's not always about sacks. Sometimes it is, but we love sacks. But Nick Bosa, worth the money. He's putting all his effort in. That's great. How about offensively? Just go through some quick ones that were the high PFF grades.
Purdy 89.1.
You know it.
I'm not sure I mentioned this last podcast, but I said that if the Niners didn't have Trent Williams, our offensive line would be like considered one of the worst in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But Jake Brindle got PFF grade of 87.7, which is the third highest. Cole McKivitz got a 79.9, which is the fourth highest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, that's pretty good, I haven't heard great things about our offensive line, but I think they play well. They play well together. They play well in the system. And they might not be as great as the Eagles, the Cowboys offensive lines, but they can hold their own. And offense is pretty good. I mean, McCaffrey finds the holes, and Brock Purdy barely gets sacked. A couple here in a game here and there. Overall, they do a pretty good job for us.
Yes, and
Speaking of Brock Purdy,
yeah, Brock Purdy broke the 49ers franchise record in passing yards. Brock Purdy has 4,208 yards. It might stay like that, or if the 49ers decide to play Brock Purdy against the Rams, it could go to like maybe 4,500.
yeah. So he beat Jeff Garcia's record just by three yards. And he did it within the same amount of games. 16 games Jeff Garcia played, 16 games Brock Purdy played this season. So he didn't need the 17th game to break Jeff Garcia's all-time 49er passing yardage record. So, which is pretty cool, I would say. I would hate to have a little asterisk and, that was an extra game that Purdy had and gave him the advantage of breaking the record, but he was able to do it. And I heard that the Niners are 21st in pass attempts. So they were in the bottom half of the NFL in pass attempts, yet he was able to throw for that many yards. I believe his completion average, yardage-wise, is about 9.6. So that's really high. Shoot,
Also, I want to point out that Jeff Garcia's and Brock Purdy's stats, when Jeff Garcia broke the record for most passing yards by 49er, are like almost identical.
Oh, yeah?
Besides the completion percentage, but yeah, like you said, he barely beat him by 2 yards.
Oh, 2 yards.
Brock Purdy threw 11 picks. Jeff Garcia threw 10 picks. And Purdy and Garcia both threw for 31 touchdowns.
Wow. What a coincidence. That is weird. That's a coincidence. Interception and touchdowns were pretty much almost exactly the same. Yeah, that's cool. Thanks for those stats. Speaking of the game, right? Let's throw some game balls out to who do you think did a good job in the last game against the Commanders?
I know he has the highest PFF grade, and it might be kind of obvious, but Charvarius Ward,
Mm-hmm.
he got an interception. He didn't get any penalties. I didn't really see him get like burned or anything like that.
Yeah.
He didn't really give me yardage, I think. I didn't hear his name.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't hear the name, that's good. Just like Logan Ryan. I didn't even hear his name either.
He got a penalty.
I get one. Okay, or it's better than like a bunch of them, bunch of penalties, or being thrown deep on. I didn't hear much about him, so that's a pretty solid game for a third string safety that we just signed. That's never played a game for us before, so not bad. I heard that guy. I don't know what team he's from, but he has 2 Super Bowl rings, so he's been on championship teams before. So that's
Maybe
nice.
he's on the Patriots.
That's a nice veteran to have. That can play. That's smart and has experience, especially with playoffs and stuff. So that's good to have. I wonder if Jair Brown will be back, but it looks like we're doing pretty good with Logan Ryan. I would have to say Elijah Mitchell. He had a great game. I mean, he led the team in rushing with 80 yards. Great average, 4.7 yards, and his first touchdown, I believe, right?
Yeah.
of the season. That's how little we've been using him. So that's a relief that we have. He was great that year, right? 2021. He was great.
Yeah,
So,
he broke most
so it's good to know that we have a great running back behind one of the greatest running backs. So, win-win, I think. So, game ball goes to Elijah Mitchell. For me, Brock Purdy, awesome. It was a get right game in a way, for Brock Purdy since he has such a terrible game with the 4 interceptions last game. It was really important to see how strong is he mentally, right? Can he get back?
Yeah, we know Jimmy Garoppolo is very strong mentally because maybe all the injuries doesn't make your mind. I haven't really been injured, so I don't really know like from sport, so I don't really know if that affects you mentally. And he's been like benched, I think. Like Trey Lance was he?
Jimmy G?
Yeah,
Oh,
he lost starting job to Trey Lance.
I think so. Well, that was, I think, beginning of the season. They had him as a starter, and we were going to trade Jimmy G that time. I think that was the
So
year
yeah, and like all the
last year.
criticism. So yeah, I think he has a very strong mind.
Yeah, because so easy to say, hey, you're Mister Irrelevant. You're a seventh round pick. You're nobody. You're not gonna make it. No quarterback has ever done this. Has ever made it. So just accept who you are, and you're not gonna be very successful in the NFL. So just from that, he's already broken that wall. No problem. But and all when you have these setbacks and bad games and people start talking and saying, see, he told you this guy's not that good. It's all this talent around him that's giving him all the stats. But it's not true. I mean, Brock Purdy throws a great ball, anticipates everything. He did that scramble in the last game where he did a little U-turn, got away from the defensive lineman and then pointed Ayuk to run the opposite direction, and then threw across the field. Perfect pass right to Ayuk for that touchdown, huh? So that was great. All right. So there's a few other things besides that game. There's a few things to talk about, like CMC. You were talking about Brock Purdy breaking the record for 49ers passing yards. Well, CMC has broke the 2,000 scrimmage yards, all-purpose yards. Only 3 running backs has ever broken that 2,000-yard mark, and twice by Marshall Faulk with 2 teams, the Rams and the Colts. The other one, Eric Dickerson with the Rams, and now CMC has done it, but this is the second time he's done it. He also did it with the Panthers, and now he did it again with the Niners. So congrats to CMC for that. That's an awesome record. What else we got to talk about? To the game. Oh, it was that 4th and goal. We were up 27-10. And Shanahan went for it. He ran the ball with Mitchell, didn't get in, but I just want to say that I really liked that Shanahan. He was up by 17 points. He was willing to try and put the nail in the coffin and finish off the Commanders. And if he got it, that would have been it. That would have been it for the game probably. So I like that he's that aggressive. He doesn't mind doing fourth and goal. So there was the offense seemed to be back on track. It was against the worst defense in the NFL, which didn't play so badly, I'd say. But then the worst thing I think that the Niners need to fix is their tackling, right? You saw how they ran on us, or the running backs. They were yakking us up like crazy, weren't they?
Yeah, they should have ran the ball more because they're running on us nonstop.
Yeah. Some of them were short passes or whatever, but Brian Robinson seemed like a beast. Couldn't get him down. We were missing tackles left and right. I mean, this could be from just being tired. It's been a long time since the bye week, and I think this coming week they can, have less playtime against the Rams, and then they have the bye week. Um, so there'll be a lot of rest. So hopefully they'll come out, you know, guns a blazing. You know. So how do the Niners look after a good amount of rest? I look back at the schedule, and whenever there was a Thursday game, and then the next time was going to be a Sunday game, that would be a long, basically half of a bye week in a way, So I was checking it out. Um, After a Thursday game, the next game was a Sunday game against Arizona. We scored 35 points in that one, and then the other one was the bye week. We scored 34 points after that, and then that was to Jacksonville, and then we played Philly after a Thursday night game the week before. We ended up scoring 42. So I think some rest for the Niners is what the doctor ordered, and that'd be awesome. One more thing, Kittle.
Yeah, he broke 1,000 yards, but he only had 2 catches. It was like for 24 yards in the game against the Commanders. Now he is at 1,020 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, you were really on that, and we watched the game. I totally forgot about it, and then you reminded me that we were watching it for Kittle to get those few catches and break that 1,000 yard mark, which is awesome. This is the first time since '98 when T.O. and Jerry Rice were on the team. Last time we had two 1,000 yard receivers. Um, so it's been a while. So we got a tight end and Brandon Ayuk. Kittle and Ayuk being our 1,000 yarders this year.
Maybe we could have 3 if Debo goes crazy, which he's probably not, but he's at 871 yards. So it's kind of possible, but he's probably not going to play the full game against the Rams.
Exactly. So that's the next, maybe last thing we can talk about. Basically, the next game is like, who should play? That's the big thing. Shanahan was saying, we want the rest, but we don't want to be rusty. Rest or rust. What do? We want to protect them from injury and get them healthy, but they can't be like 2 or 3 weeks without playing football. By the time we get into the playoffs, they're not going to play very well. What do you think should happen? How do you think we should handle the players?
I think if someone is not really ready to go and they're like questionable, we should like mark them out as out,
Mm-hmm.
and then the ones that are healthy, they just play a quarter,
Mm-hmm.
and then let the backups do the rest. Even though I want to still have the streak against the Rams, because we beat them like in the regular season like 7 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I want to keep that streak alive, but I think resting their players is more important than the streak.
Oh, definitely, you're right. I think you have a good point there. Anybody who's injured, like CMC, you said that they already announced that he's not going to play next game, right?
Yeah.
Trent Williams, one drive maybe.
He doesn't need practice.
He doesn't need practice. Exactly. There's some people that don't need practice, and actually, one of them I think is Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy pretty much had no preseason, no training camp, came in and was hot right from the start, you know? So, but I don't want him to not play for that long. So I would like maybe a quarter or less for Brock Purdy to play. Maybe 2 drives, depending on how long the drives are. Real simple, but simple passes, nothing like a 5 or 7 step drop where he's holding the ball forever, just to get things in motion and make some passes and stuff. That's all.
Maybe Brock Purdy should play as much as Trent Williams does, so he doesn't die.
Quite possibly. Yeah, that's true. You can correlate those two together and connect them. Who else? I think everybody else needs to play maybe a quarter or maybe a whole half if we don't have that many people to, backups to come in. But half the most probably for the starters. Just be careful. Game doesn't matter, so It could matter for the Rams, and they're on a pretty good streak right now. They're playing very well. So, all right. So, I guess that would be play some drives, maybe a quarter or a first half, depending on um, you know, how important that player is to us as a starter, and then go on from there and put in the backups for the rest of the game. So I think that would be good. All right. So Rams next Sunday.
Yeah, they might not. They might not like put their starters in because if they lose, actually, yeah, they might not because if they lose against us, they have 9-8 record, but they already clinched the playoffs.
Okay. Then it's all about seeding, and who knows who they're going to play.
Yeah, they probably will go against the Lions.
Yeah, I heard that could be a possible scenario matchup for the wild card. So yeah, that'll be an interesting game. I'll be watching, seeing who makes it through, and who we might be playing in the divisional round. I believe. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
exciting.
hopefully it's not the Eagles. If there's a possibility that we go against the Eagles in the second round.
Oh, we'll kill the Eagles. We did already.
Yeah, but
and Hurts has looked worse and worse and worse ever since
he
we
played pretty
played him.
well this game against the Cardinals.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It seemed like he's he was not MVP status anymore for sure. Not compared to when they were on that winning streak in the beginning of the season. Like I was saying, it's like they're too hot too early. They can't keep it up unless they go undefeated, and then they hit the skids once we beat them. They haven't been the same since.
Well, that wraps up for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and help us get to 50 subscribers.
Yeah, 50. Let's do it. 2024, 50.
And goodbye.